Oh man, so a big day for Bitcoin, trying to hold the day here green to stay above 20,000. But I've just seen something in the charts which suggests we could be setting up for our next big move. And unfortunately, to the downside, can we break that 20,000 support level? Remember, that's a really important support level here for Bitcoin. It dates back to the previous bull market high. And so far, we've managed to hold above it. That's that green line you're looking at just there, this one here. And you can see we're in this symmetrical triangle pattern which we were monitoring yesterday, and we got the breakdown exactly as we predicted. Remember, the target to the downside is sitting at 17,861. Guys, if you want to trade any of these moves, this video is actually brought to you by BYBIT. So if you're looking for a new exchange, go and consider checking out BYBIT. Again, I don't promote leverage, I don't margin trade, but I do spot trade on BYBIT, and it's one of the better exchanges which I use for trading. So if you want to support the channel, if you want to get yourself set up on a new exchange, BYBIT is a great exchange to do that. Now, as you can see here with this symmetrical triangle, we indeed got the breakdown to the downside. You can see that there. Now, this is a very interesting pattern. What happens, this is what I often look for when we break to the downside, is you've got your retest. Okay, you can see it's retested the trend line and it's bounced back. So this is very solid confirmation that you are now heading down towards the 17,000 price target to the downside. Now, the only bit remaining in order to fully turn into bearish mode on this pattern is to break that line there. Can you see just where it turned around to go for the retest? That turnaround happened at around 20,200. So that's going to be the key level to break. Once that breaks, everything suggests that we could be heading quickly down towards 17,800 on this target. Remember, our next level of support is 17,500. That dates back to the previous cycle high where we had a bit of support on the way up. So we'll need to see, resistance on the way up, which could act like support now that we're going to the way down. So we need to keep an eye on that. And the worrying sign now is if we head on over to the weekly chart, if I just show you this weekly chart, and I'll show you a cleaner chart, just so you guys can follow where we're going here. You can now see that 10 red candles out of 11 weekly candles. So this is insane now. And this is this is unprecedented for Bitcoin. We've not had such a down period. And this is why things are looking rather nasty. Now, we need to understand one thing. This is not to do with crypto as a whole, okay? This is to do with the wider global economy. And the clear thing which backs this up is that crypto has had 10 out of 11 red weeks, but the NASDAQ has had 11 red weeks out of 12. So we're just correlated to the NASDAQ. We've known that for the last couple of months, and that is why we're getting hugely punished to the downside. Not because of crypto as a whole, but because of the larger risk of sentiment from the market, and rightly so. We're heading into a pure slowdown. If anything, we're in a recession right now. Negative GDP 2 quarters in a row will give us the official recession reading, but you can feel it. Inflation is uncontrollable, 40-year highs. Bond yields are flying through the roof at record highs. Dollar index record highs, 20-year highs, and then you've got everything else suffering, right? Retail figures were weak this week. We had housing starts slow this week, so it's not great right now. And I can't sit here and give you hope here. What we can do, however, is make sure we're prepared to dollar cost average and continue to buy into our favorite plays. Right now, I'm focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm actually not even paying that much attention outside of short-term trades to any altcoins right now. And maybe that's a mistake. Maybe I could be getting altcoins super cheap right now, but for me, I'm more than happy to wait for a bit of a bottoming out and buy altcoins a little bit more expensive and instead focus my energy and efforts on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Because I know from previous bull market runs, I always got a little bit distracted by altcoins. I never picked up, I had enough attention on Bitcoin, Ethereum. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm happy to pick up altcoins a little bit expensive if I do. Altcoins go for crazy moves anyway. So buying it 5, 6, 7, 8% later when a reversal is a bit more clear is fine, right? It's fine for me, and I'm happy to do that. Obviously, on the short-term trades, you can continue to play some of those trades. We mentioned the opportunity on Phantom yesterday, and I can show you how that played out. You can see we were talking about this bounce right here, and you have got that bounce, but now you can see we're getting rejected from the 24 level roughly. So I'll be looking for this to fall out similarly to Bitcoin. So I'll be expecting this to come out to the downside here from this pattern, and if that's the case, then we'll be looking at this price target, the measured move, coming down to about 16 cents and then heading towards our next support at 15 cents here on Phantom. Now, if both those patterns somehow miraculously break to the upside, then that's also a probability. But remember, the bias is to the downside right now, and you need to trade with the bias. So on breakout of any of these trend lines, you guys can trade this. Again, if you guys want to trade this, you can do so using the links in the description to get yourself set up on the relevant platforms, but you'll be looking to take that to the downside. If we can manage to get above the upside and break to the upside, then fine, we can get a move to the upside, but I mean, the bias is not in that favor. Technically, it can, yes, but we've got to take into account all the fundamentals that are going on. And right now, FUD does not seem to be letting up. It just doesn't seem to be letting up. If I show you what's going on in the US markets first, you can see we've got a bit of a flat day. But again, like I said, the NASDAQ has had 11 out of 12 red weeks. It's another horrible week for equities and crypto as a whole, and it's been a trying week. And you can see fear and greed index continues to get hit here. I mean, if we just show you, if I can clear that ad, we can show you here fear and greed index sits at 9, so you can see here the markets are still super fearful. I mean, anything below 10 is ridiculously fearful, and it makes sense, right? When you've got things like this going on. I mean, we've spoken about Celsius, we've spoken about 3 Arrows Capital. These are more, projects and ecosystems which are struggling post the lunar collapse. And the analogy I used in my video earlier today, if you haven't watched that about Celsius, go and watch that. It's a really important video which explains what's going on with Celsius. I also posted a video yesterday explaining exactly what's going on with 3 Arrow Capital, and now it looks like I have to make another video because Babel Finance now suspends withdrawals citing unusual liquidity pressures. So again, this is a Hong Kong-based crypto lender, and they raised 80 million in Series B last month, but they're struggling with liquidity. And again, this contagion continues. I said this after Luna, and I'll say it again. There's gonna be other projects which come out and struggle, because the problem is we have bad practices being carried out similar to traditional finance. DeFi is no better. Those same unethical practices of rehypothecating, of over leveraging, degen plays continues to happen in the search for greedy yields. So again, I urge all of you guys to look at your portfolio, look where your money is, and again, if you don't understand what's happening with your money, there's a high likelihood that something nefarious is going on. So just keep things simple, keep things safe, and that way you can be safe, not sorry, right? It's not fun when you've got your money tied up in Celsius, and I really hope they can figure it out. And similarly for 3 Arrow Capital, who are now trying to get a bailout, right? They're trying to get some sales of assets. Who's going to buy this? That's the question. Who can jump in and buy these kind of assets? Who'd want to touch it, right? Similar to Luna. You go and set up Luna 2. You've got all this bad rep. Who's going to come in and save these guys? And the contagion effect is going to be huge, and it's going to continue. So please be safe out there. When markets are depressed like this, after a sustained period of red candles from all-time highs, that is where projects really get tested. That's where you really find out who's actually made of substance and who's just hokery-pokery, right? Who's just a bunch of wizardry tricking people into returns with Ponzi-like dynamics, with degen plays, with unethical investing. This is where it comes to pass. So hopefully you guys are all staying safe. Again, if you want to trade any of these moves, go ahead and trade these moves. I personally am going to be doing a lot more trading, just because it's been a boring market. To be completely honest, you guys know I used to trade a lot, and I continue to trade. And in this kind of market where we're just not getting any activity for many months now, I'm going to have to keep myself entertained by doing some trades. So if you want to join me, check out the links in the description. Get yourself set up. I'll be sharing the types of trades I'm taking on this channel as well as the technical patterns. But as you know, I've got to marry those up with the fundamentals. And when those align, when we have that confluence, we can enter those trades. Hope you guys are continuing to keep your conviction heading into the weekend. Remember, I think this is a long weekend. I think Monday is closed for the stock market as well. So watch out with that if you're placing any trades. But also we noticed that crypto normally can have okay weekends when the equity market isn't weighing it down. But be careful, because currently crypto's got its own problems right now with Celsius, 3 Arrow Capital, and now Babel Finance as well. So do watch out for that over the weekend. Thanks for watching this video, guys. As always, don't forget to watch the video on 3 Arrows Capital, which I'll link up, as well as the Celsius breakdown. Go catch yourself up on what's going on with those projects. Don't forget to give me a like on this video and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.